above Sightseeing Oslo.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, Open Top Sightseeing welcomes you on board our hop-on, hop-off tour of Oslo. There is a brochure describing the sights to be found in Oslo, including details of reduced admission fees, in the pocket in front of you. Open Top Sightseeing wish you a pleasant trip. On the right-hand side, you can now see the new Opera and Ballet House, which is partly built out into the sea on a 350-year-old mound. Architecturally, it is something really out of the ordinary, and the building has been awarded many international prizes for its architecture. We are now approaching Oslo's main railway station. In the Trafikanten, the building next to it, there is a tourist information office. The sculpture of a tiger, which you see in the square on the right, has become a symbol for Oslo. The city is sometimes called Tiger Town. In front of us, you see Oslo's Town Hall, which was completed for the town's 900-year jubilee in 1950. It is built of red bricks with two towers, which measure 63 and 66 meters respectively. The east tower has a glockenspiel with 49 bells. The beautiful halls in the building are open to the public, and we highly recommend a visit to them. In a few moments, you will see on the right-hand side the building which houses the Norwegian Parliament. On each side of it, a lion keeps watch. The lion is also to be found on the Norwegian national coat of arms. We are now in Karl Johans Gate, Oslo's main street. On the pavements of Karl Johans Gate, you can see letters and words inscribed. These are quotations from the works of Henrik Ibsen, our most famous author. In front of us, you can now see the palace, which lies at the end of our main street, Karl Johans Gate. The building of the royal palace was begun in 1821 under King Karl Johan and was completed in 1849 by the architect Lintorp. The next stop is Vigeland's park. Granite and bronze statues stand in this park. They were all created by the sculptor Gustav Vigeland. The themes of these works are people of all generations and the circle of life. We can recommend a visit to the fountain in the middle of the park, the monolith, the large granite pillar made of 121 segments, which forms a spiral towards heaven, and also to the famous figure on the bridge, which is called the Stubborn Little Boy. We will shortly reach an area which belongs to the Norwegian Folk Museum. Here stand 155 different houses, huts and farm buildings, which represent regional differences covering long periods of time from all over Norway. In this museum, many activities for both children and adults are offered, such as folk dancing, musical performances, domestic animals, or traditional baking. Our next stop will be for the Viking ships. In the House of the Viking ships you will find the best preserved ships from the burial mounds of Oseberg, Gokstad and Tune. The ships were placed in the burial mounds to serve their wealthy owners as vessels on their last journey in the underworld. The Oseberg ship was built in around 820 and was used as a funeral ship for a woman of much influence and her servants in 834. Apart from human skeletons, you can see carriages, magnificent sleighs and animal heads from Oseberg, and bedposts, bridles and smaller boats from Gokstad. You can get a reduced entrance fee at the Viking Ship Museum if you show your open-top sightseeing ticket. Our itinerary now takes us to the Fram Museum, the Norwegian Maritime Museum and the Kon-Tiki Museum. These three museums provide a fascinating insight into the expeditions and discoveries of many famous men. The Kon-Tiki Museum shows the story of Thor Heyerdahl, 1914 to 2002, and his expeditions and excavations which took him to many parts of the world. The most famous of these expeditions is the one he made on the Kon-Tiki, a balsa wood raft bound together with ropes of hemp, with which he crossed the Pacific Ocean in 1947. The journey took 101 days. At our next stop, we will be arriving at the Akershus fortress. Håkon V began the construction of a medieval fortress here in the 14th century. In the 17th century, the fortress was remodeled in the Renaissance style and surrounded by a modern fortification. This took place under the rule of Christian IV. The historical halls of Castle Akershus are now used by the government for official receptions and banquets. The Royal Chapel and the Royal Mausoleum are also to be found here. Hardly any other building in Norway has played such a central role in our history over such a long period in time, and still does so. Oslo Open Top Sightseeing would like to thank you for choosing us to show you our wonderful and exciting capital city. We would be happy to welcome you aboard again at a later date.